The ring box was still open on the table when she said it. I'm not ready, Daniel. The hum of the refrigerator filled the silence that followed. A low electric drone that seemed to vibrate against my chest. My hands were trembling, the ring catching the light like it was mocking me. I waited for her to add something, not yet, but soon. I love you, anything that didn't feel like a slow execution. Then she said, but I don't want to lose you. Please wait for me. And I smiled. God help me, I smiled. Of course, I said. I'll wait. But something behind her eyes flickered. A mix of guilt and relief. And in that flicker I knew something wasn't right. The weeks that followed bled together like watercolor. She said she needed space, so I gave it to her like a fool. Fewer texts. Fewer calls. When we did talk, her laughter sounded practiced, too bright at the edges. Her Instagram, though, that was alive. I wasn't supposed to look, but who really listens to that voice of reason when their heart's on the line? Photos of sunsets. Wine glasses. Captions about growth and self-discovery. Always taken from the same angle, the same golden hour glow, but never with me in them. One night she posted a story. A hand reaching for hers across a table. A man's hand. It disappeared in seconds, but I'd already seen enough. I told myself it wasn't what it looked like. That she was out with friends. That someone else took the photo as a joke. Denial is a strange comfort. It builds a nest around your fear and sings lullabies until you can almost sleep again. But then I noticed small things. Her perfume lingered on my jacket one evening. Except it wasn't the one I bought her. A faint citrusy scent. Sharp and unfamiliar. She'd stop mid-conversation to read a message and her smile would shift, soft and secret. And once when I called her by surprise, I heard a voice. A man's voice, muffled in the background. She said it was the TV. I wanted to believe her. God, I needed to believe her. 2 months later she asked to meet. Dinner, she said. There's something I need to talk about. It was the same restaurant where I'd proposed. The irony wasn't lost on me. She arrived looking radiant, her hair pulled back. A new necklace glinting just above her collarbone. I asked where she got it. Oh, this? A gift from a friend. That word. Friend. Dinner passed in slow motion. Her phone buzzed twice. Each time she flipped it face down without reading the message. When the plates were cleared, she exhaled like she'd been holding her breath the whole time. I just want you to know, she began. I'm trying to figure myself out. I need to be sure before I commit. It wouldn't be fair to you otherwise. I nodded. That makes sense. She looked relieved again, too relieved. You're amazing, Daniel. Really. You're patient, kind, and I don't deserve you. That's when I said it, still smiling, still pretending not to bleed inside. Of course, I told her. I'll wait. But this time I didn't go home. I followed her. I know how that sounds, pathetic, desperate, but love does that to people. It rewrites the moral code. She drove across town through the rain-slick streets until she turned into an apartment complex I didn't recognize. She parked, checked her phone, and waited. A few minutes later, a man stepped out of the building. He smiled at her like he'd been waiting all night. She got out of the car, ran to him and kissed him, slow, deliberate, like it wasn't the first time. The sound that escaped me wasn't quite human. I didn't confront her then. I watched. I memorized. I drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel until my hands hurt. The next morning she texted, "Thank you for understanding last night. I just need some time." I replied, "Take all the time you need." That evening I dropped the ring box into an envelope. Inside I added a note, just one sentence. "You said you weren't ready to commit, but I didn't realize it was because someone else already had." Then I drove back to that same apartment building. I waited until I saw her car again parked outside. Her lights were still on in the window. 2 silhouettes moved behind the curtain. I left the envelope at the door. A week later she called. I didn't answer. Then came a message. "Daniel, please." It's not what you think. But it was. Exactly what I thought. Later that night she posted another photo. The same golden light. The same table. The same hand reaching for hers. Only this time she didn't crop his face out. And for the first time in weeks I felt something close to peace. Months have passed now. I still catch myself looking for her sometimes. In the way sunlight hits a wine glass, in a laugh that sounds like hers. But mostly I think about that night in the restaurant, the way she smiled while breaking me open. I used to think betrayal was an act. A single moment you could point to and say that's when it happened. But it isn't. It's a slow bleed. A quiet unspooling of trust until you wake up and realize you've been loving a ghost. And when she told me to wait, I didn't understand what she really meant. She didn't want time. She wanted freedom without consequence. And I gave it to her with a smile.